Hello everybody, thanks for clicking on this video. I have a very special patient with me today. His name is Bruce, and Bruce had a very traumatic injury that he's going to talk a bit about, and how he's made a complete comeback as a result of care in this office with upper cervical care, amongst other practitioners who've done a really good job for him. And you've done a lot of hard work yourself, so we don't want to negate all the work you've done. So thanks for taking the time to share your story. Why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about your injury and what you've been through to get to this point?
Okay, so my journey started in 2016. I was in a car accident. I was rear-ended. I was hurt pretty bad. Like my back was hurt. I had some bulging disc from it, bulging disc from my neck, my shoulder, my elbow. It was quite a lot of injury. And it took a long while. I was in a lot of pain. And it took a long while to try and understand what was going on. They were able to fix my shoulder. They were able to fix my elbow. They were able to help me with my knee. But my back, I always called it ground zero, and I never really knew what it was. And it was a lot of trial and error. I was doing really well in my other physical piece of it, but my back just wasn't clicking. And then in addition to that injury, I hit my head, which is now considered a TBI, traumatic brain injury. You know, it's an injury, a severe concussion that just didn't go away. It's better, but I mean, I couldn't finish sentences for a couple of years. I was very emotional. I had a lot of executive functioning issues on top of being in a lot of pain. And it was this constant fight with my psychologists and psychiatrists and neurospecialists to try and help me. But nothing seemed to be working because physically I was in so much pain. My brain was almost out of control. And it wasn't until, unfortunately, 8 years later, that I heard about your practice. And it was a recommendation from my one physician. And I actually went to a surgeon. This is, in fact, that's what happened. I went to a surgeon because I was at wit's end. I couldn't take the pain in my neck anymore. My 3 fingers were going numb. My arm was going numb, and it was getting worse. My toes were even numb. They've always been numb, even from the accident. So when that came out, I see the surgeon, and he said, okay, you have the 2 bulging discs. They have not gone away. He recommended surgery. I was not okay with that. I've been through a lot of surgeries already. I didn't want that. He said, well, then try anything you can. Come back to me if it doesn't work. And I mentioned orthogonal chiropractor and your practice. He said, give it a shot. And good luck with that. He did say, if I were you, I would give it a shot before the surgery.
Nice.
So here I am. I come walking in, and I was hobbling in when I did. And this was really the last piece I was looking for, and my last try, because I was in so much pain physically. My brain wasn't quite healing right because it was always getting upset what was happening down here. And I didn't know where to go. And then I meet you guys, and that brings me here.
And just share with everybody what your function level was at that point, because I know you were not working at the time.
I wasn't working. I haven't worked for almost 10 years.
Whoa.
2016. I tried. I couldn't.
And you're a teacher and a coach.
I'm a teacher, high school football coach, high school baseball coach. I actually used to work in the medical field when I got hurt, but I wasn't able to do that job. I wasn't able to process anything. So I couldn't go back to the medical field piece. Teaching, it's in my blood, it's my nature, but I couldn't do it either because I was in so much pain. And meaning I was limping, everything hurt all the time. I was in constant pain. When I would see my doctors, I would laugh. There's a pain scale, 1 to 10. What kind of pain are you in? Today's a 6. Today's a 5. Today's a 7. Really bad days. But I would walk around steadily with a 3, which for me it was just barely where Advil might touch it, but probably not. And it just hurt. I just had to deal with it. And I was fatigued, always tired, a lot of brain fog. My communication wasn't my strongest point. It was a struggle. Every day I woke up and I was in pain. I'm a coach. I couldn't run around the way I used to. I couldn't move the way I wanted to. I couldn't show my players, different things. I mean, it was really hard. And again, I couldn't work.
So there's a lot of people that can relate to what you're saying. Maybe they're going through that exact or a similar situation. So talk about your experience with upper cervical care, how it felt, how you responded, where things are at now.
So how do I start with? Let's start with this. When I started here, I listened to everything you guys proposed, and I was all in. Let's go. I didn't know what was going to happen. I've been to chiropractors before. I'm an athlete. I've seen lots of different doctors, but I never saw someone like you. And so I went in with eyes wide open, to the point where I wanted to start working out and try and do all these things. And you guys were like, no, put the brakes on. Let's give it a couple months. Let's see what you're going to, let's see what happens. And so going through the process, I was here 3 days a week. And you guys I would call do your magic. I was feeling a lot in my head after you guys would do your adjustments, which were so mild. I didn't even realize that you were doing something. The pressure was so soft. I'm like, is this working? But then afterwards, oh my gosh, I got flooded with all kinds of hormones that I don't know what was happening to my body. You guys did, and you laughed about it. But I would go home and I'd probably even sleep for an hour, and actually even 2 hours. And that lasted for probably about 6 weeks, where I knew I was coming, and just for a couple hours afterwards, you needed to chill because I didn't know how my body was going to react. But it was doing something.
It was healing. Yeah.
Well, it was healing. In retrospect, it was healing, but I didn't realize that. I was just moving through this and trusting the process. And then all of a sudden, I'm waking up and everything isn't hurting as much. I started feeling like I had more stamina, more energy. I'm planning my days, longer days, where I used to plan my days where I would go out for maybe 2 hours, because I couldn't handle much more than that. It was too much, both for my head and physically. And now I'm doing 5-hour days, 6-hour days. And it just kind of progressed. And I found myself over time, I got back into coaching. And I mean, just the other day, I'm back to teaching, but we can explain that. But I was running the other day around with my kids, and nothing hurt me. Nothing hurt me. And it truly was the first time, and definitely since my accident, even before my accident, the pain I was in. And I complained about pain all the time. And I don't complain. If I complain about pain, that something's going on. Because it's not something I anticipate any longer. I don't think about it. And I'm like, what is happening? And again, the work that you guys did here, it cleared everything up, including my mind. So the biggest part, like for me with the TBI, you can't see what's going on up there, but I can feel it. And things were clearing up. My thoughts were more clear. My memory definitely got better. My feelings were more positive, and this cloud was just lifted, where I could focus on, my mindfulness training. I do a lot of, and that's a big part of it. And truly, the connection between the mindfulness training that I did, that I'm still doing, I'm currently active, and what you guys do, it's synergistic. It really is. It connects literally and figuratively, and I can work this process, and I keep getting better as times go on. And I'm actually, I'm coming here less often because you guys told me I don't need it as much, and I was kind of nervous. I'm like, no, I want to keep coming because it feels so. And now I'm once a week. And it's working. And I was waiting for the shoe to drop. And I feel like I'm still getting stronger with just my weekly visits.
You are still healing, and your doctor, your neuropsych, cleared you to go back to work. So now you're working, you're coaching, you're running up a new program now. I mean, did you ever think that this was going to happen?
No, truly, no. No. When having a brain injury is so difficult in so many ways, just the fact that most people can't understand it. And to be able to try and understand it, like, unless I'm speaking to someone with a brain injury, we speak the same language, most other people don't. And it was so frustrating. I really never thought I would get back. I never thought I would have the ability. The fact that I can go into a crowd, that I can go out in a crowd and it's not shutting me down, and the lights are not destroying me, and the sounds are not destroying me. I mean, I'm teaching. I'm working with 25, 30 kids at a time. Now listen, I need my breaks. I need my time. I mean, I'm trained on doing that. But coming here, not having to worry about how my body feels and what's happening in my neck, it just allows me to use all my other tools and focus on what I need. I mean, my brain injury is never going away, and I understand that. But I have a toolbox that I can now use and I can rely on, and it's because I'm not worried about my neck. I'm not worried about my back. My fingers aren't numb any longer. I can write now again. It's okay. This hand works. And it's all from starting here.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
You've been very passionate in our conversations about getting this information out to other people who are struggling, and that's why we're doing this, and thank you for agreeing to do it. What would you say to the person that's on the other side of their computer monitor right now, watching this video, skeptical, wondering, they're kind of jaded by the system, they've tried so many things. What would you say to that person about upper cervical, what they should do?
First of all, I understand the situation you're in, whether you're having a medical battle, it's financial, whatever it is. I've been there. I almost gave up. I can tell you that once you have your care lined up, I have my psychologist, I have my neurologist helping me, and I have you, what you're doing for me. This is like the last piece of the puzzle that I wish I got first. I wish I had done this in the beginning because I know what it can do. And I would say, if you can, give it a try. Trust the process, give it a little bit of time, because your body has to release a lot of things that have been locked in there. And your brain, I promise you, will free up, and it will allow you to practice more mindfulness and to be able to dive deeper and to be more effective, not only just for yourself, but even, you know, with my spouse, with my kids, you know, because a lot of that, it got very disrupted. It wasn't easy, and it's all coming back. I'm like, no, I'm okay now, and they could see it. You know, proof's in the pudding. I'm walking the walk. I can talk it, but I'm walking it. And I mean, I honestly, I never ever thought that I would be in this position right now, back to work. I mean, I will say this: I was on forever Social Security, SSDI. I said, thank you for your help. I needed it for 9 years. I said, and I gave it back.
Wow.
I no longer collect Social Security.
I
got everything now.
That's
so
amazing. And that's a testimony to how one person's health trickles to the entire family. So I want to thank you again for allowing us to care for you. It's definitely been a partnership, and we're grateful for that. And I'm certainly grateful for your willingness to share the story with our community.
Of course, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome.